What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Thank you guys for being here. As always, drop that like down below. Let's get over 200 likes on this video. Make sure you comment down below who you believe is going to be the highest scoring player on DraftKings and their point total down in the comment section. And whoever can get that correct will be getting $100 sent from me personally to you. So go ahead and make your guesses down below in the comment section. Welcome back once again. Week 4 and Week 5 were amazing for the squad. Greenlightdfs.com to join that. Yeah, I mean, week 4 and week 5 were huge, comebacks after the slow start in NFL this year. We were at the top of everything the last 2 weeks, top range of everything the last few weeks, and I'm excited to just kind of keep that streak going and finish this year well, we're still in the beginning of the year, but finish the rest of this year out on a very high note. So anyways, I'm back for the first look lineup. As you guys know, early in the week, we go through and we set an entire lineup together. This is just a first look lineup. In no way does that mean to just lock this lineup in, put all your money into it, and just cross your fingers. You still have to do your research throughout the week to really find success in this. You got to take advantage of the injuries that happen, switch things around as information comes to really do your thing. So my first look lineups normally gear more towards GPP. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Let's set this lineup together. All right, starting off at quarterback. The quarterback that I'm going to go with, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below and hit the notification bell to be to let you know when I post my videos. In the beginning of the week, we do the first look, we build together. I only talk about the players that we put into the first look, and then at the end of the week on Friday morning, I drop a video where we go position by position and talk everyone. All right? Now, let's get back into it. Matthew Stafford is the quarterback that I'll be going towards so far in the first look, the guy that I really, really like. Jacksonville is the worst team in the league versus the pass. Okay, their pass defense is worst in the league by a solid margin. Actually, Jacksonville's secondary is atrocious. I think this game stays close. I wish it was in Detroit in a dome. I always loved the quarterbacks in a dome and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Stafford at 6'3", he's got some solid weapons around him like Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay. Those guys are going to be able to create space pretty easily against the secondary, and I think Stafford's going to have a solid game here at 6'3". At running back, we already found out that Dalvin Cook will most likely be missing this game, and with that said, Madison is locked in my eyes. Minnesota is a team that loves to utilize their running back. I mean, as we see what they do with Dalvin Cook. Last week, Madison got a ton of run, over 20 carries, and he's going to get a ton of run here. And look at that matchup against Atlanta. When it comes to matchups this week, the Minnesota Vikings offense is the offense that I want exposure to. Going against Atlanta, Atlanta can't stop anything, kind of like the Dallas defense. Cannot stop a thing, so you want to play guys against them. This is in Minnesota, in a dome. Madison is a fantastic play. On top of Madison, another very solid running back option that I really love this week as of right now is David Montgomery. David Montgomery going against Carolina. You cannot go wrong playing a running back against Carolina. They are bottom in the league. They struggle bad. They give up the most yards per carry. It is horrible. Okay, they struggle a lot. And on top of that, Madison and Montgomery both can catch passes, and both Atlanta and Carolina have given up a lot of catches to running back this season. So expect Madison and Montgomery to both have solid games. Montgomery's only 5'8" in a very plus matchup against Carolina. I really like Montgomery, and I'm hoping that he stays low owned. To pair up with Matthew Stafford, I'm going to go Kenny Galladay. Galladay is Stafford's favorite, and we know the type of upside that Galladay possesses. I mean, the dude is an absolute monster, okay? And he is a huge red zone target for Matthew Stafford. I'm going to bold call it right now. I'm going to go over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for Kenny Galladay against Jacksonville this weekend. All right? Next up, now I'm kind of trying to have to remember what I had as the fave before, but we will figure it out anyways. I know the next receiver that I had was going to be Fulgham. Now, the reasoning here is not because he just went off last game, but because he's been getting some solid targets. Pay attention to Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Make sure they're still out. Both of these guys have not played much, and even if they play, I expect them to be banged up, so I don't think it's going to affect Fulgham much. Obviously, I hope they're both continue to be out, though. At the end of the day here, you have to expect Philly's going to fall behind here against Baltimore pretty easily. All right, Baltimore's offense is really, really good. They get up on opponents, and I think they're going to get up here on Philly, and Philly's going to have to do a ton of throwing in this matchup. And Fulgham gets you exposure to the pass game at only 4-4, a guy who has been highly targeted in this Philly offense in a game their game script should have a lot of passing in it. So Fulgham's a very solid option that I really, really love. As well as Fulgham down at the bottom, we saw Claypool absolutely have a career day. He was the highest scoring player on DraftKings last week. And no, nobody guessed him. And I'm not surprised. Claypool came out of nowhere. It's a wait and see on him. Kind of same situation. Deontay Johnson. If Deontay Johnson misses, I will have a ton of Claypool here because Cleveland has struggled bad versus the pass. And it is a fantastic situation for Claypool to succeed here for Pittsburgh, especially if Deontay Johnson is to miss. If Deontay Johnson plays, I might be a little tempted to play Deontay Johnson because I know he has struggled to play much in these games and he's left the last 2 games early. But this is a guy that was getting ridiculous targets in the beginning of the season. So if this guy stays on the field and doesn't get hurt, he will be targeted heavily and have a big game, and it will happen. And they have dropped his price down to 4.9. So pay attention to that situation. If Johnson is out, I really, really love Claypool. Yes, I would probably say I like Claypool over Fulgham, however you say his name. And if Deontay Johnson plays, I'm interested in possibly going Deontay Johnson after missing the last few games due to injury. He barely lasted in the game. Everybody might just be completely off of him. Don't forget what he did in the beginning of the season and how much Roethlisberger loves to throw this dude the ball. All right? And then let's move on. I'm trying to figure out exactly who I finished this lineup with. I believe at the flex. You know what? Let's do this third receiver real quick. Third receiver is Adam Thielen. I talked about loving Minnesota's offense this week a lot, and I really, really do. I mean that. Madison and Thielen are my favorite options here. With Dalvin Cook being out, not only is that going to be a huge bump to Madison, who's going to get a ton of carries in this offense, and a lot of passes in the pass game as well. This is their pass-catching back. Adam Thielen gets a ridiculous amount of targets already. Take Dalvin Cook out of the offense, and it's just going to be ridiculous. So Adam Thielen and Madison, I really, really love both of these guys. At the tight end position, a guy that I really like this week is going to be... Let me find him. I believe I went with Logan Thomas in this matchup against the Giants. It's a very easy matchup against the Giants. There was a few tight ends I was messing with. It was Logan Thomas, and who else? I should have just had the lineup on the screen and not forgotten it, but it doesn't matter. The other tight end that I was looking at, I believe it was Thomas. So we're going to go with Logan Thomas as the tight end. This situation, the Giants' defense is bad, plain and simple. Washington's going to be able to score on them. And Logan Thomas is a guy that is one of the highest targeted players in the league in general this year. Not just by position, but in general. He's one of the higher targeted guys in the league. So Logan Thomas just gets a ton of targets. Easy cakewalk matchup against the Giants. Absolutely love him. Let's skip the defense. Love the Patriots at defense this week. When you give Bill Belichick and this New England staff is already really, really good. Okay, they're already just beasts. All right, we know how they do. Now you give them extra time to prepare, and that is dangerous, especially at home in New England, going against a Denver team that is going to be going with Drew Lock. Okay, that offense is severely banged up with Sutton out and all those guys out. The only playmaker they have is Melvin Gordon. Expect New England to stop Melvin Gordon, and Denver have a really hard time moving the ball here in this one. I'm thinking the Patriots score a defensive touchdown and have a huge game this week. I called the Ravens last week. They ended up scoring 27, something like that. Went crazy and made the week an easy week 5 for us. I'm expecting the Patriots to kind of be like the Ravens this week. They're going to go off. Giving Bill Belichick that extra time to prepare because of COVID is going to make the Patriots really dangerous here in this matchup at home. All right. And then last but not least, we have 5-4 remaining, and that drops us right at Myles Gaskin. Gaskin is the guy that I'm really interested in here because Gaskin gets targets in the pass game. Miami's offense has been looking really good lately. Fitzpatrick's been playing really well. Gaskin's been really consistent, getting targets in the pass game, which is great for DraftKings. Going against a Jets defense that is bottom in the league against the run, I expect Gaskin to have a very solid outing here. And at 5-4, I feel a very solid floor out of him here in this matchup at home in Miami going against the Jets. Like I said, this Miami offense has actually been clicking on all cylinders. They've been playing very, very solid offensive ball. Both defenses in this game are bad. I'm expecting some solid offense here in this one and some scoring to go down, and expect Myles Gaskin to get a solid amount of carries and to be able to get in the end zone once, hopefully a few times, and the passes that he catches in the pass game to really give him a very solid floor here at 5-4. And that's it. All right, that leaves us with $0 remaining. We got Matthew Stafford, Madison with no Dalvin Cook, Montgomery going against the worst run D in the league, Kenny Golladay to pair up with Stafford. Like I said, Jacksonville's secondary is just bad. When it comes to the worst secondaries in the league, Jacksonville's there, and it's a good little, they're the worst, and then Seattle's below them, but Jacksonville's the worst. So then you got Fulgham. Pay attention to Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Make sure they're continuing to miss. But either way, they're banged up bad. Fulgham has been a vital part of this Philly offense lately, and at only 4-4 in a game where you know they're going to be down against Baltimore. It is a very pass-heavy game script for Philly. Love that. Adam Thielen to go with Madison to just stack up against my Atlanta Falcons, unfortunately. As a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, I just kind of got to just sit back and, stack people against my team. It's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Logan Thomas as the tight end. Like I said, this dude's being targeted. I believe he's like top 20 targeted players in the league in general. He's getting targeted a ton. Going against the Giants, a bad defense. I think he's going to have a solid performance. Gives us a cheap little tight end here at 3-3. Myles Gaskin catches passes. Going against one of the worst run defenses outside of Carolina. And then the Patriots D. Look. You give Bill Belichick extra time to prepare, and you're going to struggle. All right, especially when the only offensive player you have that can really blow up is Melvin Gordon. So expect New England to take Melvin Gordon out of the game, and Drew Lock have a ton of difficulty here with no weapons in that offense. So I love the Patriots D. I think they have the potential for the 20-plus game, and I expect a defensive touchdown out of them. And that's it, y'all. Thank you for joining me as always. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad. Thank you guys. Make sure you comment down below who you think is going to be the highest scoring DK player of the week. You can comment again at the end of the week, give you a few chances to get that right. Comment who you believe is going to be the highest scoring on DraftKings and their point total, and you'll be able to comment on this video, and then you can comment on the next video. Only one guess per person, though. Don't comment like 20 different guesses. One guess per person. You can comment on this video, and then on my final look video, comment on that one as well. Thank you guys for joining me. And let's get this money, man. Let's keep going. 3 weeks in a row. Let's get it. I'm out. Peace.